Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Distance Lemma podcast. This is episode number 27. My name is Shaun and I'm in Dublin, Ireland. This is Imran. He is in Thun, Switzerland. This is our long distance friendship podcast. This is episode number 27. And holy hell, it's been one fucking week. Let me tell you that, lads. So much has happened in the last week, and I honestly don't think I've ever been so excited to start an episode of the podcast. This is going to be a juicy episode, man.
Yeah, juicy episode is incoming. A lot has happened this week.
So much has happened in the last, I wouldn't even say 7 days. I'd say the last 5 days. A lot has happened.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan died yesterday. Rest in peace.
Ozzy,
Ozzy, of course. I have a funny story about the Ozzy thing, but rest in peace, Ozzy as well. And then obviously we'll talk about it a bit later on the podcast today. But after last week's episode of the podcast, we've been receiving a lot of interesting comments about one of the posts Shaun had made.
We'll stick a little teaser in now. So we posted a clip from the podcast last week. If anybody listened to the full episode or watched the clip, we were just talking about how people in the right wing of Ireland can be so very hypocritical, and they're basically ticks a lot of the time. Still stand by that fully. And we posted that, and we've currently the video's only been up as we're recording this is the day after I posted the video up on our TikTok, and it's less than 12 hours and it's got 100 comments and it's got a couple of thousand views. So we're gonna just have a look at that and break it down and basically just look at these people make a tick themselves. If anybody's here from that TikTok, hello, hope you don't try and kill us. Sound. But yeah, what a week it's been.
Yes.
And then I also have some personal news which Imran knows about.
I
think you guys in the podcast won't know about which I will share.
That actually just went straight on my brain until you said it there, but yeah, I remember now what you're talking about. So my story about Ozzy Osbourne. So Ozzy died I think 2 days ago. Obviously was all over social media. People were putting up like their favourite memories of Ozzy, funny videos, like what he was famous for, blah blah blah. And Nicola probably wouldn't be the biggest fan of rock music. It's kind of a known thing. Like, she likes pop rock, but she would never listen to indie rock, rock and roll, or heavy metal, for example, right? So last night I got home from work, and she was like, "Did you hear that Ozzy Osbourne died?" And I was like, "Yeah, very sad." I was like, "Definitely like one of the people who like live life to the fullest and stuff like that." And she was like, for this is not going to pay any attention for our audio listeners, but she was like, Ozzy Osbourne's the guy that goes like this. If you see it, I just flicked my hand.
He just waved his fingers underneath his chin.
Which actually is true. Like Ozzy Osbourne used to do this at his shows, like waving the fans. He used to like put his hand below his chin and wave like this. Supposedly it's like a mockery of the Queen. Of course, very standing on the rock and roll sense. And then it was because like I wasn't expecting it. I just like started breaking my like laughing like so bad. And then Nicola was like, "Didn't he also eat a bat?" And I was like, "Yeah, he bit the head off a bat on stage at one of his gigs years ago. Like very rock and roll of him.
This
like
is in the 80s, yeah.
Yeah. This is like a long time ago in the rock industry, especially." And then we were like, for like the next 20 minutes, we were just talking, and like we'd like randomly across the room just like flick our hands underneath. So now it's like a thing me and Nicola have been doing like for the past 2 days, like day and a half. Like she rang me earlier and she was like, "I'm waving at you like under my chin right now." I was like, okay. So Ozzy Osbourne is like in our lives now. But did you listen to a lot of Black Sabbath growing up?
I love Black Sabbath, man. Like on the opposite end of Nicola, like I love heavy metal music. Like I'm a big rock and roll, heavy metal.
Of course,
type of guy. Like Black Sabbath is like most people's first introduction to heavy metal. Like
Yeah, so, definitely was mine.
I've been listening to Ozzy for like 8 or 9 years now. At this point, I'm not going to claim to be the biggest Black Sabbath or the biggest Ozzy fan.
No.
I am a very basic fan in that way. Of like my favorite Black Sabbath song is probably like War Pigs, which isn't like some cut B-side or like from their 7th album, the 9th track on this. Like I'm a basic, like I'd be listening to the Essentials playlist on, and like listening to Paranoid and the self-titled debut album like once or twice a year. Like I'm not the most in depth, but I was a fan of Black Sabbath, and obviously was a fan of Ozzy as well. Like Yeah, we have a
Interesting
similar,
guy.
yeah, he's fucking mad, but that's kind of what made him fun.
That's what is rock and roll though. Rock
I
and roll stars are mad.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
We have a funny story about Ozzy in ours, like on the same lines of your story. This only happened a few weeks ago as well, right? So like, if anybody doesn't know, Ozzy played his last ever intentionally. Like this was meant to be his last ever big gig, with Black Sabbath and with like Youngblood and a couple of other people, in the music industry. Like we played like this big hometown gig in Villa Park because he's from Birmingham. Yeah. And played the stadium, and that was the last time we ever going to see Ozzy. Now, quite literally, not a chance to come back now, right? So he plays that gig, right? And about a week later, I was in the kitchen and I just got up and I said to Simone, "Do you want a cup of tea?" She goes, "Yeah." So I'm in there making a cup of tea, and she goes, "Shaun, Ozzy Osbourne just died." And I burst into the room. I was like, "What? Oh no, blah blah," and we were like sitting there talking about it for like 5 minutes, and like we like had like our little like we didn't know him personally, we weren't
but like so you listen to his music.
We had our little grievances there and then. This is about 3 weeks ago, and then like we go, "Oh, that's sad," blah, blah. And we just like started talking about Ozzy and blah blah, and like I missed the kettle and all the tea. I had to reboil the kettle. 5 minutes has gone by, and then I just went back in and I sat down with the cup of tea, and she goes, "Oh, never mind, that was fake." So this is like 2-3 weeks ago. So then on Tuesday, when he did die, I was just in my office and I saw it on Instagram, and Simone was in her office upstairs, and I just screamed up to her. I said, "Oh, Ozzy Osbourne just died." She goes, "Oh, fuck off! No, he didn't." Like she fully didn't believe me.
She's fully in distraught that she didn't.
I was like, "No, I swear
it.
to God, he is actually dead. Like he dead ass is dead. Like
Like I knew he was sick. And like you could clearly see that when he was on stage. Like I'd seen a bit of footage from his last gig, and he looked like he was on his deathbed pretty much. But good artist, and long live.
What would your favorite Ozzy / Black Sabbath song be?
Yeah, or the War Pig song as well. Same. Yeah. I mean, like I know, but like I've talked about this before. You don't have to like this niche demo tape that was made that you can't find on MP3 players like in the back arse of like a vinyl store. This is what I'm saying. Like if you like a song for a particular reason, there's a reason why it's so popular, and this is what we talked about before. I think a lot of people like to like niche songs and niche things and everything, but if your favorite song of Queen is Bohemian Rhapsody, then it's your favorite song. You know what I mean?
Just give him a second to cough there and have a quick sip of water. Again, 2 weeks in a row with a voice break. Yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, like I'd be going for War Pigs or Crazy Train as well. Man, the guitar solo on Crazy Train is fucking insane. I've seen like somebody do a cover of Crazy Train, like the intro, the do thing, but like it was done with these I don't know what the name of them are, but they're like these pipes, and it sounded like EDM. It was like do. It was like some kind of windpipe thing. Percussion instrument. I don't even know if it was an instrument. It was just these things, and she was able to get the correct tone out of them, and they sounded fucking class, But yeah, I've been loving seeing all the Ozzy content. There's lots of clips coming up from living with the Osbournes and stuff. Like Simone used to watch that heavy back in the day. Like
I remember that when I was a kid. Yeah, I remember that when I was a kid. Of course, Shaun Osbourne as well was on America's Got Talent as well. So, it's just like I've been seeing lots of funny clips. There's a video of him at one of the Chicago MLB games, and he's like singing the national anthem of like the supporters club of Chicago. I don't know the song particularly, but man, it's so funny. He's like so out of it, and he's like him and Shaun are singing the song together. It's so bad, but like the crowd are just vibing with it because it's Ozzy. You know what I mean?
And another one. Now I was never the biggest wrestling fan, but Hulk Hogan we alluded to earlier as well. You were a bit
Hulkmania. I was a huge wrestling fan growing up. Hulk Hogan though was very much at the end of his career in the early 2000s. He really rocked the early 90s, and I'd say coming into the early 2000s. But later, and he wasn't really involved that much, purely because he was so old. But yeah, another legend in the game. Rest in peace to Hulk Hogan too.
I got a text about that in our band group chat. Billy, our bass player,
big fan.
I just seen the message, and I was on my laptop, and a WhatsApp message came through, and it was just Hulk Hogan dead, brother, and that was it. And I was just like, I doubt it.
So out of context.
Me and you both know shout out to Billy, we love you, Billy, but that's something Billy would say, and just out of context, and I would be like, yeah, okay, that's just something Billy would say. But then I went on social media, and Hulk Hogan had also died as well. There's some great videos of Boot being like, when we said take the old white man, we didn't mean Ozzy, take the old white orange guy. And then they said, no, not Hulk Hogan, we meant Trump. You know?
Yeah. I know. There's definitely going to be loads of funny videos popping up now on social media.
And did you see the whole shit about that baby being named Aquaman when Ozzy died as well?
No.
I don't know, this is some like influencer mad shit. Hold on. So basically, there's like some influencer who I don't know what her name is, but I think like she's like a mom influencer and reviews toys and shit like this for kids. But she's known for naming her kids mad shit. And the day that Ozzy died, she had a baby, and she named the kid Aquaman.
That's so random.
But like now everyone's joking that Ozzy has been reincarnated as this woman's baby, and his name is now Aquaman.
Okay. Right. That's on social media for a day.
Yeah, I don't know enough about this woman to explain it more, but like that's just
there you go.
It's been a mad week on Twitter, man. Twitter has been on fire this week. Holy God, Twitter is really up in its game this week.
It's been such a wild week for me as well. Like I've worked 3 days this week. I was away at the weekend. Like I said last week on the podcast, I went to Lake Como with Nicola. Bucket list moment. I went to the place where Anakin proposes to Padme in episode 2 of Star Wars for my Star Wars fans. So that was lovely, really good for us. But when I went back to work on Monday to Wednesday in work for me has literally been the roughest 3 days I've worked since I've worked there in the pub for about a year now. And man, like, I've literally booked 3 days in a row. I've not finished till 11 o'clock and then had cycled home. The first night I cycled home, my chain decided to fall off, so I had to stop and then put the chain on in the dark with no light. My own fault because I don't have a light on my bike yet. Don't kill me yet. And then second thing happened to me last night was I was cycling home and it just decided to like torrential rain on the way home, like thunderstorm rain. So I was like already a quarter of the way. I checked the bus app. There's no bus for another 15 minutes, so I might as well just keep cycling. You know what I mean? And I got into the house and Nicola was like, Jesus Christ. And I was like, yeah, I was literally soaking head to toe. But like this week in work, I've literally been like, I felt like I've worked. Do you ever feel like you've only worked 3 days, but you feel like you've worked like a whole week?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. It's like when you get to that Wednesday is like the cut off point. You know, it's like, that's like the point during the week, you're like, oh.
That's such a slap in the face coming off a holiday. Like to have 3 days
like
that. Like when you come back from
a
holiday, you want like 3 nice smooth days where like, you know, you just ease back into things. Like, you know, it's one of the things I'm always like when I walk back in, I'm like, please, especially because I work an office job, I'm like, please, everybody just have done everything and everything be smooth and don't like walk into like 20 minutes be like, I didn't do this. You know?
Yeah. Definitely been like that at the moment. How has your week been? You know, you've had some interesting things that's happened to you.
Yeah, we've got some so we got some news. So I'd like to just before we get into this by saying I'm fine. As you can see, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm recording the podcast. But I was in a car crash on Sunday. So yeah, Betsy is looking rough at the moment.
Me and Shaun's child is in a rough spot at the moment.
Anybody who's coming in off the TikTok, Betsy is Imran's car that when he moved away I bought off him for a bit of backstory. So now it's my car.
I'm like the godfather to the car.
Yeah, the grandfather really, because you know my father before.
I love that. That's nice.
Yeah, hopefully, even though you're younger than me. By like a week.
By like a week or something.
Yeah. Well, I was in the car crash on Sunday. I was in Blanche. I'd driven home to see a friend who I had not seen in months, and I came home to see her on her birthday, and we were in the car for less than 5 minutes, and so we had basically stopped at a red light, and there was a couple of cars in front of us, and that was fine, and then this van just came flying into the back of us, and yeah, just like the whole back of my car is now fucked. And then because he hit into me, I went into the person ahead of me, she went into the person ahead of him, blah blah blah. So there's about 4 or 5 cars involved in total, like, you know. I'm mainly fine. The car, like I said, the car is kind of, we're a bit 50-50. Some people who I showed everything to are like, the car's going to get written off. Some people are like, no, it's salvageable, because there's nothing actually wrong with like the engine, the motor, the oil, gearbox, nothing like that. There's no damage to that. All of it is like the lights, and the boot doesn't open anymore, and the bumper's fucked and shit like that. So like it's fixable, but like I just don't think that. I personally am swaying towards the side that could be getting written off, just because I think the amount it's going to cost to fix the car is going to be more than what the car's worth. Like the car's not worth a couple of grand. Like, you know, it's like, you know, it's only worth, like, I'd say 2.5 max. Like, you know, 2.5 max.
She's a priceless.
Priceless. Okay. So I think like it'll cost like $1,500 to get the parts for it alone, and then to put the labor into it and stuff. It's probably it could now. Come here, I could be wrong. I don't know a lot about cars, so I probably will be wrong. You know, could be sitting here next week, but it's likely I'll end up with a courtesy car or something at some point.
Yeah. I'd imagine it could be like a 2-week job, and by the time they order the parts, hopefully it's not too far away, and blah 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 blah. But look, you're all right. You can twist your head, and you know your
just
body.
I couldn't twist my head on Monday. Monday was rough.
There you go.
I had to go to the doctors and stuff, and like I wasn't like I had no cuts or bruises or anything like that, but I had a bit of back trouble, bit of neck trouble. Couldn't really turn my head really well on Monday, and my back was kind of sore. And like even now, it's like I'm struggling to kind of like sit in the car, or like when I'm sitting down, sometimes my muscles just get really tight or just hurt a little bit. Like, you know, but
Cars are dangerous. Cars are actually very dangerous, and normally it's actually other people driving the car that you've got to worry about, because like I think everyone kind of has full trust in themselves when driving the car, especially after you drive for about 6 months. You're like, it's become second nature. What I mean by that is like you don't even have, not that you don't have to think anymore, of course you have to think, but like it just, everything is natural in the car.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, but like when you start off and like you're doing the gears and the indicators and your steering wheel and stuff, like every one of those things is like a separate thought in your brain, whereas like it just becomes like, for me it's like playing an instrument now. Like I just do it. I don't think about where my fingers are going on the guitar. I just say I'm playing this chord, so this happens. So like if I'm naturally, it just becomes muscle memory at a point, like, you know. So that's what it's like with the car as well. But that was interesting, you know. And Joe, it's something I cannot get over. Like me and Simone cannot get over this. Right, on Saturday night, I installed a dash cam in the car. Literally,
oh, no way.
Like the dash cam was in the car less than 12 hours, and I got hit. And I had bought this dash cam weeks ago. I bought it on like not the recent Prime Day sale, the one before that. And I tried to install it, and like I don't, like I said there, I don't know anything about cars. So like I was like, it was like, oh, you need to hook it up to the fuse board to get the back thing working, and I was like, oh, like the day that I tried to install it, I was like, I just cannot be arsed. Like, you know, I was like, I'll just do this another time. And it sat in my boot then for like 2 months. And I just was cleaning the car out on Saturday, and I said, no, Joe, I'm gonna give it a go. It took me about an hour, but I did it. I was installed, and literally 12 hours later.
It's so worth getting a dash cam. So worth it. Yeah. I mean, I didn't have it when I had Betsy, but again, I didn't think I was going to have the car for that long. I did have Betsy for 2 years, but because of COVID and I didn't have my license for so long, I actually didn't get to spend that much time driving her. I think I only drove her actually like full time for about 4 to 5 months. Sure, like Shaun has had Betsy longer than me now, and definitely is, well, he doesn't have his license as long as me, but he has definitely drove her for a good couple of months now. But I definitely would recommend people getting dash cam, especially like with these situations, like anything.
Yeah, it's inspired a lot of my friends have now been inspired to go get themselves dash cams. Yeah, do it. It's worth especially around like the likes of Amazon Prime Day and stuff, lads. Like I got mine. It's usually worth like 150, 160 quid, and it actually is, because I was looking at it before it went on sale, and then I said I'll wait till the sales come around, and it dropped down to like 90 or 80 quid or something like that. So I got, and that's a front and a back, and it's literally have to save my ass there. So it's a worthy investment. Like, you know, I'd recommend anybody who's driving goes and gets one.
So there you go. There you go. He lives to tell another day.
Papa Slim. But yeah.
Papa Slim.
That's it. Like I said, it's been a week. That's like this section of the podcast is usually over and done within the first 5 minutes of what happened last week, and then we usually move on to some shy talk. But nah.
Breaking news though. Breaking news. We might have some decorations for this room, so it would be the Batcave still, but the Batcave with some decorations. So I've ordered a couple of posters and a couple of frames that will be going on the wall. So lads, you might see not me in the bag cave standing awkwardly in a blank white room. Sometimes I feel like the comparison, it's like I'm trapped. I'm trapped in here. Like, you know, a little bit in a little room. Like, especially when you look on you, if you ever watched our podcast on YouTube, you definitely can see the contrast. Like, Shaun's wall looks like he's in like a studio, like a music studio. That's
good. That's the vibe I aspire for.
Yeah. And for me, it looks like, I don't know, I've been locked in this room for the past like 3 weeks.
Yeah, do you know what? I thought about you in particularly on Tuesday, right?
That's nice.
This is actually minutes before I found out Ozzy died.
Okay.
So
thanks.
I was out walking the dog, took her out for a stroll, grand, no problem. And I don't walk in the park where I just walk around it because just there's lots of dogs in there.
Yeah.
I'd rather just keep going my walk, keep the momentum going, especially because like Zina's a pit bull, so you know people might see her and get scared, or other dogs might come up to her.
Yeah.
It's just not worth the hassle. So I always walk like around the park. I never go into the park. So I was walking, and I just got a lovely smell of fresh cut grass. And I was walking, the sun was out, and in my shorts, sunglasses, listening to music, blah blah. And I was just like, and like I took a good like deep breath. Like I really took a moment to take that moment in, take the smell in, take in my surroundings, and I literally just went, this would kill Imran right now.
Yeah,
this actually kill Imran right now.
And do you know what the weird thing is, right? I actually like the smell of fresh cut grass. I know that sounds really weird, but it's the pureness in the air. I don't know how to explain it. You just gotta experience it. I'm sure everyone has it. Yeah. No, but I know it, but like it smells refreshing. But the problem is, it just kills me. And it's funny you said it's literally, and it's funny you said this because 2 days ago I ran out of my hay fever tablets. Like normally I'm always stocked up. Like, you know, I ordered like the 100 pack will keep me good, but I ordered the 100 pack last year and I never bought one for this year. So I have my eye drops, I've got my Vaseline. This is like to block all the pollen. But the problem is, at the end of the night, you normally wash it all off in the shower, of course, like after I go to work and everything. And that's then, but the pollen doesn't remove itself from your area of your face or your nose. It's still there because it's been caught up in the Vaseline all day. So it's kind of like you're basically pushing all this pain to the end of the day. But anyway, I'll go on. I didn't have any of the tablets left, so I texted Nicola being like, "There's no tablets left of hay fever. Can we order some on Amazon? Because you get like the 100 pack cheaper on Amazon." She was like, "Yeah, go ahead, grand, blah." And then I finished work 2 days ago, came back, had a shower, and man, when Nicola's face was like, Jesus Christ, my eyes were like bloodshot red. I couldn't stop crying. I was like sneezing like all around the house for like a good 20 minutes. We sat on the couch together, we were going to watch Narcos, and I had to like grab the covers that we had on the couch and like put it over me, and like I was just like sitting there like in pitch black with like the covers over me, like sitting like this, and she's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I just need 10 minutes, Nicola. I just need 10 minutes." I just like, man, it just takes out of you. You feel like you're doing a workout because you're just sneezing so much.
Yeah, like Imran has always been that guy that like the second the sun comes out, like Imran's gonna die of the plague, like straight away. Like he's always been that guy in the friend group that like hay fever's taking him out for the count. Like it's just happening.
And I love summer. Summer is my favorite season, but it's sometimes, especially in Ireland, when the pollen can be so high, especially down the country. If I go down to visit my auntie down Tipperary or Kilkenny, it's absolutely like you need to be stocked up. Or I'm not. I've done the years. I have experience in the game to know what's going on, which region I'm going in. You know what I mean? Even on them days where it's raining and you don't think the pollen's high, it still gets you. But yeah, shout out to my hay fever brothers out there.
We also have a bit of like an adulting move this week. You know, further on, we bought like a new thing for the house that like me and Simone have been buzzing to buy for a couple of months, but like it's just been one of those things that we've had to keep like putting off and keep putting further down the line because it's not been that essential to like how we live. It's more just like kind of tidying and organising. But we finally bought a wardrobe.
Okay, for the bedroom.
Yeah, well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn Simone's office into like a walk-in wardrobe because Simone was just like because the initial plan when we came here was like because I like to work from home so much, it made sense for me to have my own office, and then we have our bedroom, and then Simone was also it was going to be a thing where Simone might have been able to work from home 1 or 2 days a week. And, you know, she was also like, oh, I want to get back into my game. And she wanted, like, a space to go and read her books and blah, blah, blah. But, like, it just kind of hasn't happened that way with the room. And she only spends, like 3 hours a week in there, like, you know, and she kind of just gets dressed in there anyway. And then in our bedroom, we bought a chest of drawers when we, like, were a couple of weeks in the house. So that was fine before summer, because once summer came and we'd start taking out our shorts and our summer clothes, and especially, like, you know, when we were coming over to you guys in Switzerland, like, once our summer clothes were, like, fully out and about, we had nowhere to kind of put everything. So, like, there's just been, like, piles of washing, like, you know, either it's like we're either not doing washing because we generally can't put it away, or like like we have, like, piles of dry washing that's done that's just stacked in the sitting room or in Simone's office or in my office, just because we generally haven't got anywhere to put it, you know. So we finally have a wardrobe. I also bought myself a new chair, which this isn't it. This is actually Simone's chair because I needed a new chair. So that's in a box behind
I only
here.
noticed that there since you said it. Actually, it's nice. Simone's chair.
It is really nice. I literally bought the exact same chair in black because it's so
There
so
you go.
comfy.
There you go.
Yeah, I needed a new chair, and I was like, well, if we're spending the 50 quid in the IKEA delivery anyway, lads, you know.
How are you on deciding between each other about what to buy? Like, are you normally good, or is it like very much conversational about like different items? Like, for example, now me and Nicola need to buy a cabinet for the bathroom just to put like shampoo bottles in, all that kind of stuff. And for us, like, we're great on picking the product. Like, for like example, like we'll pick the cabinet, we'll agree on that very quickly. But then for us, it's like more about color scheme. So we'll like discuss with each other, like, okay, I like a dark grey, I like a white, you know, does it fit the room? Da, 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 da. Is there anything like that where you use it the same, or you have like a different angle with it?
Like, we're usually both fairly chill. Like, we usually, like, know what the room needs. Like, especially Simone being from, like, a designer background, like, Simone's instincts are really good, so I tend to trust Simone's instincts a lot.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
one thing I fought tooth and nail for, and Simone put her hands up and knew I was right at the end after it, right? This is, like, my proudest thing, because the only thing, like, I was, like, in the house, I was like, no, like, let me cook here, like, just trust me, right?
Yeah.
Was the color of our sitting room. It's like a royal blue kind of Chelsea navy, and I didn't pick it because of that. It's actually, for anybody who is watching the podcast, the color of this copybook is probably a really good representation of what the color of our sitting room walls is, right?
It's very
Fairly similar to that, maybe a little bit darker, but. So, like, we were kind of debating on what colour we wanted to go with, because we don't get an awful lot of natural light in this house. Like, my office here probably gets the most natural light of all the house, because I'm at the front of the house and I've got the kind of front facing mirror, the front facing window of the house, so I get the most of it, but we don't get a lot of it in the sitting room, in the bedroom, and in the kitchen and stuff. So I was like, I think we should go for a darker colour and make it warmer and have neon stuff. And Simone was like, yep, that's grand. And we were picking out colours, and I just saw a colour in the shop one day. I was like, that's the colour. And Simone had been, like, researching for months and being like, no, like, you know, that. And I was like, just trust me. So we bought a sampler. And then Simone wanted to also paint. She goes, right, okay, let's try it. So we painted the room, and then she was like, let's paint the skirting boards that colour as well. I said, no. Let's do the skirting boards white, so it looks like a frame around. Like, it gives it a bit more of a boxed, like, clean cut of a frame. Whereas, like, if you went down to the ground, because the floor is also a dark brown, I just felt it would have been too. And Simone was like, "No, I want to do the skirtings." I was like, "Just let me cook. There's loads of white paint. Let me paint it white. Let me just show you. And if you don't like it, we can just paint over it in blue, or we can paint over it in brown, or something like that." And we did it, and she goes, "Right, you were correct."
Yeah, the Gok Wong fella.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Interior designer.
The only thing for me was the TV. I really wanted LED skirtings alongside the TV, but I wanted them built in. So just I don't know if I said this in the podcast before, but me and Nicola are huge like Nintendo Switch like fans. We play it easily 2-3 times a week. When Shaun and Simone were over, we played it a good bit. Just good fun. It's good crack. Like, you get good crack out of it, competitive and all that kind of stuff. But the only thing I wanted it was mainly for Mario Kart. Is when you play on Mario Kart, whatever happens in the game, or it happens on all games, it moves the colors pixelate with what's happening in the gameplay. So Nicola is like, even like, I remember she was like, I'm not paying an extra 100 quid for this, and I was like, Nicola, trust me, trust me, it will look so cool. We'll get so much crack out of it, and it's definitely like the best purchase. She's like, even now, she's like, that's the best like thing you suggested to buy. But now it's like for us, we're kind of like only small like bits of decoration is what needs to be put in. And then Shaun noticed that when he came over with Simone, they were kind of saying like they like the layout and stuff like that, but it was just kind of looking bare, mainly the walls and stuff like that. There's not much. How would you say it?
It's only really that room and like your
the
bedroom.
games room.
Your bedroom needs a TV. That's what I'd say.
Yeah,
your bedroom.
So
needs
we think is we just don't want the TV in there because like we don't really get to spend that much time in the bedroom because Nicola just
that's
like
Imran, don't be leaving details about your bedroom lifestyle. That is between you and Miss Nicola Ginda. Nicola, I know you listen to the podcast. Don't mind him. I apologise for that. Please.
He's throwing me under the bus here.
You keep your bedroom politics out of this podcast.
Yeah. Okay. What I was trying to say was that I didn't want a TV in the bedroom because we sleep better without it. But yeah, I get what he's trying to say. Let's leave my sex life out of this show. Thank you very much. Anyway, transition into the topic. It doesn't really
right. I have to say, when we first started this podcast, we were actually very good at doing it. But the last couple of weeks, we just keep going transition as if it's like an edit. Like,
I think it's like a new thing now, though. It's like it's just fun to just like state the obvious of the transition. But here we are. I'll let you do the introduction of the topic and blah blah.
Cool.
Blah.
For anybody that just skipped ahead and wanted to come straight onto this, so I'll just explain again really quickly. So we posted a video on TikTok, just the clips like we usually do, but we currently have, I haven't refreshed this yet, but there's 102 comments on the video. So, fun. The video was talking about how people who are right-wing and Irish, right-wing politics, leaning Irish, can be very hypocritical sometimes and often use that agenda to make quite racist remarks. And honestly, the comments are quite a case in point example. So we're going to go through some of the comments.
Essentially, we were talking about emigration to other countries, but the same vice versa in Ireland. That's kind of like the main topic of what we were talking about in the previous podcast. Now, before we start, bear in mind, Shaun knows this, said it many performs to her. I have never had TikTok, never used it. Still don't use the TikTok platform for the podcast. I normally let Shaun do that, and then I'll normally look after the Instagram. Well, we kind of share the Instagram as well, but
so someone's pissed off and one of the comment replies, blame me, not Imran.
Yeah, blame Shaun. But so I haven't seen any of this.
Some of these racist assholes are just going to blame you anyway. So
it's fine. Yeah. Right. Okay. Right, I'm interested for this. Right.
I'm just literally going at these as they are in order, so it's not like the most popular, the most liked, or the least.
Yeah.
The most
whatever is interesting.
I'm just going at it. So and as well, there may be a bit of like rinse and repeat. I will try and sieve through comments that are repeating the same stuff. Like, I'll try not to bring stuff up, but there's some genuine ass like kind of like stupidly funny things that people are saying. Like, people believe this shit. This is what
is there people that have backed us as well? I'm intrigued.
Yeah. There's a couple of people that have backed us up as well. Like, 100%.
Okay.
You know.
All right, I'll let you spiel.
Yeah. So the first comment that I have here is like, we'll just work ourselves and build our countries, and we worked and we built them countries, kind of referring to USA, Canada, the places Irish people have gone to. We didn't expect free handouts. What free handouts are being given?
What free handouts
are being given? I think people look at the whole asylum seeker situation. People are coming from war-fled countries that are being put up because they're coming from a war. They're literally coming from a war in a country and they're being put up. Yeah, what's the problem with that? Why do people have an issue with this? Like, these lads are literally fleeing because their houses are getting bombed. Their family members are being shot to death.
What do they do? They want us to just leave them there, you know what I mean? just not give them any aid. I think people forget that they're human at the end of the day. I don't know why it's... Oh, man, the identity versus humanity thing is crazy to me, honestly.
It's mad. It's MAGA.
It's MAGA. Idiot count number one.
Yeah, Imran, you need to just keep note of your account number one. There's lots of replies that, kind of supporting what we were saying. Like, there's so many Irish people that went to America and freeloaded over there. Now, there's definitely people who come to this country, and I want to back this up by saying there's Irish people that do this as well. This is not something exclusive to people who are foreign or who immigrate to Ireland. people who take advantage of the system, right?
Yeah.
That's not their fault. And I've tried to say this in a couple of comments, but it's hard to say it with the limited characters that you get, right? But people take advantage of the system, right? That's not particularly that person's fault. It's the system's fault.
System's fault.
If you were in a really desperate situation and you felt you had to move countries, and there was a system in place there where you were going to get X, Y, and Z. I don't know what people get. People are claiming they're getting 850 quid a week, a fucking 3-bedroom house in like Ballsbridge, and a car and all this sort of crap. I do not know anybody who's getting any of that sort of carry on, right? Now, come here. I'm sure there is one or two examples of that, but I think it's a case of like you'll have like people who you'll have the one or two, and then people will use them as a case study for all of them. You know, where like one or two people may have gotten it under certain circumstances. Like again, I don't know anybody who is doing that, but you know, people just kind of dramatizing that one element of it, like you know.
Jesus.
So yeah, like lots of people were kind of replying to that comment, backing us up and saying Irish people went over to America and freeloaded for years, and the Irish were given free accommodation. And somebody else replied to this comment being like, "Oh, people who come into Ireland are costing us €2 billion per year." Never heard of that before. Don't know where they're getting them stats from.
No.
Okay, I'll move on to like the next comment. Somebody says there's 4 million people in Ireland. About 25% of them are foreign. That's too much.
Okay,
That's
explain.
just racist.
That's just racist.
I also,
Do you know the funny thing is? I mean, me and Nicola have spoken about this before. They're, to be honest, the hard working jobs, the backbone of the country is mainly foreigners. They're the ones that are keeping the country running because they're doing the jobs that Irish people claim they don't want to do. Do you know what I mean?
I've said that a couple of times in the comments that people are like a lot of these people that come from the likes of Romania and Brazil and Nigeria and wherever, like you know, like or Jordan.
Doesn't matter.
Wherever you come from, a lot of them are willing to do jobs that Irish people turn their nose at. Like you know, I'm gonna give an example here. This may be a bit of a oversimplification, and I don't mean this in a bad way. But there's a really large proportion of Brazilians who work as delivery drivers.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, like Brazilians and Croatians are like the nicest fucking people.
They're so full of life.
They're so sound, like.
Yeah, definitely passionate people, like hard working. This is the thing as well. It's like people have this high nose thing of like, oh, I'm not gonna work this specific job because I have such a high standard for myself. Do you think the people that come here are picky about the jobs they get? If anything, everyone, even Shaun will tell you. Shaun was unemployed for a while as well. He's already said that in previous podcasts, so I'm not out here. You know how hard it is to get a job in Ireland. It is super hard to get a job anywhere these days. It's super hard. Yeah, we've talked about this before. Yes, there is jobs in retail, there is jobs, but a lot of the time to get jobs in these places, you need either experience or you need to know someone. Two of the jobs I've worked in, I knew both people, or someone that worked in the company to get me them jobs. Now that's not to say I wouldn't have got a job while I was in college somewhere else, but I'm just saying that a lot of the time it does help to know people to get jobs, and that's kind of part of life really. Like a lot of things, like I'd say you, Harry, had in the music industry, you got from knowing someone who knows someone who knows the studio.
Most industries work off like shoulder rubbing. Honestly, that's how most industries work. But like, there's not a unemployment crisis. Like it's not like the Celtic Tiger back in 2008 where there's mass layoffs and there's loads of people. There is a lot of jobs, but like we were kind of saying there, and I'll put my hands up and say it as well. When I got laid off from my job in 2024, I did not want to go back and work in retail because I'd done it for 7 years and I was sick of it, and I just didn't want to go back. So I was effectively turning my nose up at that job. Whereas like I have worked with people who loved doing that, both Irish and not like non-Irish people who come here. Like I feel like I'm like putting people down when I say like foreign or
I know you don't mean to though. Yeah,
we're all equal. Like you know, so if I say something that comes across in the wrong tone or the wrong way, I don't mean it like that. Like you know. But yeah, let's just have another comment here. I can't remember Irish people emigrating to the UK, the US, Australia, or anywhere else, and the local government putting them up in hotels. Again, this is more on the asylum seeker side. Like, you're not getting random ass people coming from Egypt. Like, you're not getting a random person coming from Egypt, walking in and getting a free gaff. and getting a hotel stay and blah blah. That's like again, like what I said earlier of like, there's probably one or two examples of this happening where they fit a circumstance, or there was something in their circumstances that led to that happening. But that's not the common thing. Like, you know, it's just not how it happens. Like, you know, like people are taking these one or two examples of people who had extreme cases or situations and applying that across the board to everybody who's coming into the country, legal or illegal. Like, you know.
And they're trying to make it like an average thing. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be a small percentage, but they're trying to broadline it over the course of like exactly what's happening. It's not like a short percentage. They're like, everything is trying to broaden to the whole situation of whatever country or wherever they're coming from. A lot also on the topic about Irish people weren't being given free accommodation. You got to realize that was over 30 to 40 years ago, and it still happened today. Times have changed. It's not the same Ireland that we've lived in for the past 30, 40 years. So you got to remember, every kind of circumstances changes through different timelines. Like, it was different in the 80s, it was different in the 90s, it was different in the 2000s. Like Shaun just said, brought up there the Celtic Tiger, another different time in Ireland. Why maybe some people emigrated as well. So
yeah,
I think he's starting to forget to realise that.
I had said like that this is like the clip from where this stemmed from. Like, I was saying, like, lots of people in the 50s and the 60s and right now who are Irish are leaving to go to these countries to go and do, try and do better. Like Imran, a case in point. Like, I tried to reply to a few of the comments with this as well. Like, we understand this. This is what the podcast is kind of primarily about. Like, we understand how the way the country is at the moment and how the systems that the government have in place right now are failing. Like, you know, that's kind of the core of what this podcast is about. Like, yeah, we talk about other things with our friendship and current affairs and stuff, but like that is like the core of this podcast. Like, you know, that's where like the distance dilemma stems from in many ways. Like, you know, so
definitely part of it.
Like, it just, that's why I find it so hypocritical of people be like, you know, like not saying a word. Like, you wouldn't say half the stuff to people from Ireland who are going to Australia, Canada, and blah blah. And like the biggest arguments that I'm seeing in these comments is like, oh, they're going to work. It's like, most of them that come here come to work. Like, you know, like, fair enough, they might not have a job sorted. Like, I know a lot of people, like Nicola had a job sorted, but like, you went to Switzerland and you didn't have a job.
Yeah, for 2 months. Yeah.
Now, I was about to say people wouldn't say this to you, but they actually probably would, because of your name and because of your skin tone. People probably would say this to you, even though you are Irish, like, you know.
Yeah, I've had that experience. I mean, I've talked about it in the previous podcast. It's always like, what's your name? And you say Irman, and then you say, where are you from? And you say Ireland, and they say, no, but where are you really from? So like, it's that identity crisis thing again that people just can't take into consideration. But like, that's another topic for a whole nother day we could do about that. But yeah, what else is there?
I got another one here. I emigrated to Canada to work and play football 10 years ago. I have a clean Gardavet, proof of funds, blah blah blah. Don't compare me to unvetted middle-aged young men with no documents. Now, one thing that again, this is the system. Like, you know, I feel like people use the system's failings. I've probably sound like a broken record in the comments. I think I've alluded to this already on the podcast. Like, people are using this as an excuse to just be racist and be discriminatory. Fucking hell, I can't say the word. Discriminatory.
Spit it out.
To people, and it's always people. I don't see half as much. Now, it does happen, but I don't see half as much of these comments and these things being said or shouted at people who are European. Like, when it's Polish people or Lithuanians or, you know, anybody else who comes over, it's always towards people of colour that come from Africa, that come from Asia, that come from the Middle East and stuff like that. Like, you know, it's always directed towards them. So this is why, for me, I feel it's such a race issue. That's why I feel it's a racism. It's a racism thing, because it's a colour thing. Because when you walk down the road, you can see it a little bit more, and you presume those things a little bit more. Like, you know, that's why it's so frustrating, and it's just dense as well. Like, you know, it just doesn't make sense.
Even thing he was saying there about he was Garda vetted, he probably went through a good system within Canada where they were able to background check every single person. What the problem is in Ireland now, and what we have been seeing, is a lot of people are coming into the country, which is completely fine, which is they should be doing. But the problem is the system isn't correctly Garda vetting people, you know, and they're letting in dramatic amounts of people without correctly Garda vetting them to make sure that they're safe enough to be in the country, that they've no illegal backgrounds, I've never been to prison, blah 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 blah. I can go on here. Again, the same thing that you're saying there, and I know we both sound like broken records. It's the system. Blame the government. Don't blame the people. And that's the change happens from the top and then works its way down. So don't blame the people that are in these situations. Blame the structures and the governments that have been in place for the last how long?
Yeah, and I've already said this on the podcast, and I've said this in comments, but I really just want to hammer this point home. Do not blame the people who are using the system. Blame the people who make the system. So if you have such a problem with it, which is fine, you can have as much of a problem as you want with that. But if you were in a really desperate situation, in your homeland, where for example, people are like, oh, people are coming. There was somebody who would reply to a comment that I read earlier on, where it's like, oh, people aren't coming from Palestine. They're not coming from the Middle East. They're coming from they're coming from other countries. Nigeria was one that is listed, and then somewhere else in Asia that was under martial law, and then there was somebody replying and talking about how the police are really corrupt in Nigeria. So just because it's not worldwide news like it is in Palestine or like it is in North Korea, doesn't mean they don't have hardships and stuff in their countries and want to come to a country like Ireland, which is very welcoming. That's why people probably come here, because we're known for being friendly and welcoming people, which I'm proud to say we are. I love that fact. I love that people think Ireland's a safe place to come to, and I honestly I welcome anybody who wants to come here and better their lives. And obviously, come here, it's great. It would be great if you worked as well, but it doesn't matter if you're Irish or you're not Irish, or if you're born here, or if you want to come here and make a better life for yourself. It doesn't matter. If the system is in place and you are in a desperate situation yourself, you will also take advantage of that. And I also want to say as well, there are so many Irish people who take the piss out of the system as well. People who've been sitting on the dole for plus 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
That take advantage of the exact same system and don't get half the amount of shit as they should do. That's another thing. People who don't work, who can work, who sit on social housing,
who don't actively look for jobs.
Exactly, it's I feel like that's the bigger issue as well. It's why Dublin looks so crap as well. Because you do have such a large thing of this as well. And it's why we've got such a. It's not the why. Sorry, it's not. But we also have such a massive homelessness problem as well. This is all stuff that's the government's fault. But don't blame the immigrants coming here, or people
affected by
themselves.
Yeah, don't blame the people affected by it. Blame the higher structures that are implementing these things on a daily basis. But Shaun for presidency. Let's go.
Another comment here being the difference is Irish people don't go to Australia and get free houses and healthcare and handouts. They go and they help build other countries by working hard. Ireland is ruined because we take in the wrong people.
The people that are coming here are working hard. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That comment is absolutely nothing. I don't even want to talk about that comment. That comment deserves another idiot count number 3. Next one.
Sorry, just going through because there's some there's some stupid ones. There's one here. This is just stupid. This isn't even relevant to Anne. It just says, "Pack it in, lads. I'm about to ring Trump to increase the tariffs on your podcast equipment." What does that even mean?
What do you mean, bro?
Sorry, let me just read through. Ireland is full of people who immigrated. They didn't immigrate very far, then the ones that immigrated didn't ditch their passports. So yeah, right. This is a thing of right, okay, fair enough. There's people who are throwing out their passports when they get to the country, or as they board their planes or whatever like that, and they're getting in. Again, this is an issue with they in that case they should be sent back to where they came from to get their passport and then be allowed into the country. This is a failing on passport control, and should that happen? No. It's the one thing. It's the one thing that I will give the USA a little bit of credit on, their vetting system. And while they're very fucking extreme on it right now, this isn't just under the current regime as well, by the way, but historically America have always been very careful about who they let into.
Obviously, from instances we know we don't have to talk about it, but it's very obviously not.
Why do you not want to talk Imran? Why
Because we talk about it so much, and all I get on
why does
Instagram.
Imran not want to talk about that?
Because my full of Instagram is just Shaun sending me 9/11 memes. But anyway, yeah. There's been obviously they've had experienced instances where they need to have border control, but it works. That's the problem. Like you need these implementations from the government that work. And if the people are like you're saying are doing this, they probably should be sent back to get their passport and go through the correct structures. But again, you blame the past people in passport control. You know what I mean? So anyway,
this is it. Like it's more like obviously like the people who try it are cheeky, but like lads, every single day of the week, someone's doing something they shouldn't be doing. If you've never broken a single law before, if you've never like for example, something that like wrecks my head, right? Because a lot of these people who say this type of shit are lads that want to do cash in hand jobs, right? Particularly, they want to do cash in hand jobs so they can avoid paying tax, so they can have more money in their pockets, so they can do whatever they want. They can go and buy drugs, and they can go and do blah blah blah, right? Not everyone. Not everyone. Some people don't want to pay tax because they want to save up for a house and they want to do it in cash and blah blah. Don't agree with. I don't do cash myself, but like that's fine. You do what you want. But the amount of people that do try and avoid paying tax and then have these opinions. Look, come here. Does everyone love paying tax? Not really. I get why we have to pay tax. I agree with the whole taxing system. Do I love it when I see a couple of £100 out of me pay slip every month? No, of course I don't. Nobody fucking does. But it's the right thing to do for the country, for the people. It's getting teachers paid. It's getting doctors paid. It's building roads. It's like it's getting put into schools. Blah,
the
blah.
shit we need.
The shit we need. Now, you can also argue, very fairly, which I would agree, that the government are not properly allocating those funds. I would very much agree with a lot of that. Like, I don't think the education system is up to scratch. I don't think Irish roads. I don't think Dublin City is a good city to be in. Like, it's a horrible place to go to. Like, I'm embarrassed when tourists come here and have to walk around Dublin City Centre because it's filthy.
Dirty.
It's just filthy.
Dirty.
One of the things I noticed most when I came over to you was like, fucking hell,
man.
It's so pretty.
And I feel like Dublin would look so beautiful and so much better and I feel a bit more like home if they just had cleaners, more people on the road, keeping it clean.
The government needs to spend. You see those bike racks, right? Take that 300k, put it into a few fucking JBCs.
JBCs. Give it now a scrub, like get on your hands and knees, like.
Give the kip I swear to God that like Dublin is so nasty, like, and like I say this as somebody who's in town weekly. Like I'm in town at least twice a week.
You're talking from two lads who go to Dublin City regular when I lived at home. Like it's an absolute kip. But again, it is home, and I do love parts of Dublin as well. Again, we're not shitting on it, but clean up, government. Clean up.
Shout out to Keane O'Reilly's new single "I Love You Dublin But You're Dying" because facts.
Cool music video. Shout out Keane.
Yeah, shout out to Keane. We love you, Keane. Sorry, I'm just gonna have to shift through a couple of these comments again because there's a lot of shite. Yeah, if you want, just fill in there, Imran, because there's a lot of just crap that we've already talked about. So I'm just going to try and find something more interesting. Give me
something a bit positive, just because while you're on the topic. Nicola showed me a TikTok earlier in the week of a girl from Nigeria. She's living in Ireland, but she's really into books. So she does basically reviews of books and stuff like that. But the stuff that she was getting in her comments from people that are very much right wing young fellas in Ireland, the abuse she was getting, saying oh, get out of my country, blah 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 blah. Just shite. You definitely can't speak Irish and that. And the next video she did, man, is she did a whole book review in Irish. And I was like, that's class. That's proper shutting everyone up. All them young fellas who can't even say dig which in the comment section, no Irish heritage folklore. And she did a whole book review about Irish folklore in Irish and understood it and was speaking fluently. It was such a shut your mouth situation. I'll find a name out maybe for next week's podcast, but I saw that and I was like, that's class. That's a proper shush,
Yeah, I found another comment that's that kind of showcases a couple of these bits. That we were talking about. So somebody is claiming that people who come to this country are getting £850 a week in benefits.
That's probably on the dole.
Well, at that, right, when I was unemployed for 3 or 4 months last year, I was getting 250 quid a week, or 230 quid a week. So where are you getting this 850 quid a week from? Now, they're
That's
probably
circumstances.
This is also based on circumstances.
Yeah.
I imagine that they probably came over here with 2 or 3 kids, right? I imagine
Yeah.
that's roughly where that number's coming from. Like, so you've probably got 2 people, maybe let's just say a husband and a wife, are getting 230 quid each,
You need a
which
food shop.
is like honestly that's barely getting you by a food shop for a month for a family of 5. Like, let's be real, like,
food shop, rent. They need to look for
looking
jobs
after the
as
kids.
well.
They need and like they need to put their kids through school. They need to clothe their
books.
kids and that sort of stuff. So like,
It adds up.
I don't know where she's getting this 850 quid a week from.
Yeah.
But it's probably got to do with circumstances like that, which Irish people are entitled to as well. Sorry, when I say Irish people, again, this is me like being too much of a people pleaser and not wanting to be like, I'm not saying this is like only Irish people getting this. That's not what I'm saying. But people who are claiming this, whether they're Irish or they're not Irish, or they're immigrants or foreign nationals or whatever, when they come here, they're claiming that because they are entitled to it. And if they're getting 850 quid a week, they have to have gone through the system properly. Like, you don't get that without properly coming into the country, showing your passport, signing up for a PPS number, show proof that you're looking for a job. Because, like, when I was unemployed, like, they hounded me constantly being like, are you getting a job? They gave me about a month and a half of, like, yeah, grand, there's the doll, hope you're looking for a job. After a while, I was getting calls, I was getting emails constantly saying, are you looking for work? And after like 2 or 3 months of me not being in work, they said, right, you have to now come to these classes that are going to help you get jobs and stuff. Now, I was at the time was waiting for a particular job in a particular industry. Worked out fine. I have my current job now, so like I knew that, and it wasn't a case of like I was struggling to get any job. Like I said, I had the privilege because I have my degree, and I had a couple of years experience under my belt that I knew I could wait and I could get a slightly better paying job than than some people could, so I had the benefit of being able to sit on that for a little while, and I'd also worked for years, so I also had some savings built up that I wasn't hitting the panic button just yet, so like that 850 quid a week that you're talking about, they have to have gone through the system properly, and they're not going to be allowed to sit there for no reason and do it. Like, some people are going to say the opposite.
I'd love to see where she's getting these statistics from. Like,
sometimes
I feel like they really want
to be emailing us. Our email is the distancelemonpod@gmail.com. Send us where you find these stats, because they're absolutely made up and bullshit. I guarantee you, it's like a he said, she said, and based off one case, one time that met the criteria.
Unless these statistics are coming from the government, I don't want to really hear or read or listen to people that read one thing off Instagram or one news article from The Sun, the Daily Mail, and then come to me and Shaun about people are getting 850 back at home. So again, circumstances, please read, use your brain, people. Thank you. Anyway,
this is like kind of like hammering home a point we said. Somebody just commented, which I agree with this. People who say us are lads who have never worked and have council houses, and their fathers never worked a day in their lives as well.
Yeah,
probably
point proven.
Well,
and then the thing I don't agree with is in these situations people say, oh, it's not my fault, it's the environment I've been brought up in. That is true. The environment does play a factor in how you're brought up and how you think. But at the end of the day, you make your own decisions. You educate yourself to make the changes you want. Myself and Shaun have been brought up in, well, I've moved around so much. Shaun has been brought up in very much, I wouldn't say poverty, but a very disadvantaged area in Blanchardstown. So again, 2 lads that have done fairly decent for ourselves. Give ourselves a little pat on the back. We're doing life so well. Do you know what I mean? So this is what I'm trying to say. You make your own decisions at the end of the day. Yes, do these factors affect how you may think? Yes. That's not what I'm not saying. But at the end of the day, you make your own decisions for your own self. And yes, that does come with growth and experience and getting older. But like,
you have to get to, like, once you get into your 20s, like, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and go, right, what do you want out of life? Like, what, like, what is it you want to do? Like, not even what you want to do, what is it you want to have? Like, not everybody wants a mansion and diamonds and all these blah blahs. Like, that sort of shit means nothing to me and you. I imagine, like, we just want somewhere to put our heads down and feel safe, and we want that for everybody else. That's all that matters. Like, I don't particularly care about anything else. And this kind of moves on to this next comment that I want to bring up, because this person's saying a lot of what we've already heard. So this thing, they're like, as much as I said we're kind of a bit of a broken record, all these comments are broken records as well. They're just saying the same shit over and over again. But in particular, this one was kind of trying to make a point about calling us woke, right? I have a problem with people who try and say anything that isn't a bit fucking edgy woke. If woke means that I care for other people, I try and not discriminate against people for no reason, and I just care for the betterment of other people, regardless of whether that's around, you know, foreign policy, regardless if that's around sexuality, regardless if that's around homophobia. If that's what makes me woke, I will fucking wave my flag and say I'm woke all day, every day. What the fuck's the problem with that? Like, why do people get their knickers in a twist over other people's business? Like, unless it affects you, when people go, oh, it affects me and my tax and blah blah blah, it's like, yeah, okay, but if you think this is affecting your tax so bad, go after the people that are avoiding paying millions in tax, not the people like down the road who are avoiding paying 20-30 quid. And I know I made the point earlier on of people who are avoiding paying tax by doing certain jobs cash in hand or blah blah. Like, no, this is a factor in it as well, but they're not the root cause of the millions of euro that's being avoided paying in tax. Like, you know, that's not the root of the problem. Like, you know,
kind of backing up your point there, the thing that I find disappointing in the 21st century, especially with social media, is cancel culture and wokeness is stopping people having voices for what they know is right. Like Shaun has just said there, if back in homophobia, foreign policies, issues with tax, again, you're going after the wrong people. Again, like I've said, and again, we both all sound like broken records. Probably should be the name of this podcast, or this episode, should I say. But you go against the higher structures and work its way down. Things need to change at the top before any changes are made on any lower structures. It's the exact same as a football club. No change will happen if it doesn't stem from the top and work its way down. So again, the same point. If us being woke for not being horrible people, then me and Shaun are woke.
Yeah, I will happily say, yeah, I'm a woke fucker. And like, come here as well, like, I don't agree with all like extreme leftist policies as well. There's some things that I say it's a bit too much for me. It's a bit too far. I'm not. I would say I lean left politically because I'm not homophobic. I'm not racist. I'm not transphobic. You know, all these sort of things. I would say I lean left, but I don't agree with all massively left leaning policies. Like, I do have, like, I think a lot of people as well who are really left leaning might disagree with what we were saying about, like, oh, you know, there is an issue with the government and their vetting policy. Like, you know, I think that is kind of a very not left thing to say. Like, you know, I think that kind of leans more on the right side of politics. Like, you know, but like, no, it's something that is serious. Like, you know, but again, that's not the problem I have with that is, like I've said before, people are using that to discriminate against people of colour and not give out to the government, you know. But then people fucking voted for Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael again, so you know, which just astounds me. I could not believe that they got back into government after how shit they've been for the last while.
I wasn't surprised, man. The problem is with once you're with a party and you've got the backing of so many, of a majority, it really singles out all these individual parties that are trying to make a difference. And it's just sad because that's just the system we live in. And I do understand that's how democracy works, but the problem is it's stopping other parties and other independent parties who are coming up with these great ideas, great different ways of funding and changing more money and finances towards things that could better the country. But again, like you said there, the poor trap we've been stuck with Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael for the past 12 years has been very hurting much the country. But yeah.
There's we are kind of just over the hour mark now as well, so wrap up, because a lot of these things are kind of just tripping over themselves. But
any positives?
I'm gonna finish on the positive, but there's one more comment that kind of like we were touching on with the whole woke thing there a second ago. This is a comment from somebody who said these two are defo sausage munchers, bringing all their bringing all the third world sausage munchers they can have into their sausage munching parties. Anyone like these two or anyone working automatically 20-year jail for treason. A bunch of sausage munchers, and then a bunch of laughing faces, right? So what I assume that comment is alluding to is that me and Imran are gay, because I'm assuming you're referring to a sausage as a penis of some sorts, right?
Oh.
here to tell you now, if it's your first time listening to the Distance Dilemma, I'm not gay. Imran's not gay. We both have beautiful, beautiful partners that we both love dearly and we've been with for years and years. But even at that, if we were gay, what the fuck's the problem with that? It's 2025. Shut the fuck up. Who gives a rat's? As long as it's not in your bedroom and nobody's trying to have a sausage party with you and they don't want to have a sausage and you don't want to have a sausage party, who gives a fuck, right?
If you want to have a sausage party, go ahead and have your sausage party.
Any sausage munchers want to fucking have a meet up in the comments of one of our videos, go for it, man. More love to you. Fair play.
Shout out to the sausage munchers.
Shout out to the sausage. I don't know if that's how we want to shout.
I know, sorry. But honestly, idiot count number 5.
Oh,
I swear, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, and
what
then just to kind of finish this off on a funnier note, a comment agreeing with what we had to say was you could build a house with the amount of tools in the comment section.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, yeah. Look, there's loads of comments there. Honestly, if you are looking for if you don't have a book open at the moment and you just want to basically read a fat ass essay, go into the comments of that video. Because there's, like I said, there's over 100 comments. We're never going to get through them all on this podcast.
No,
like an hour's time, but I got through the kind of main points that people were hitting off.
Yeah.
But yeah, and anybody wants to challenge us in that, go on.
Lads,
DMs are open.
Be woke.
Stand
up for what's right.
There you go. Be woke. Free.
Don't be a follower. Don't be a follower.
Don't be a follower and free Palestine.
Don't be a sheep. Free Palestine. Fuck them all. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so yeah, that's where we're gonna wrap things up here. Hopefully next week we don't. Hopefully next week we have a podcast. So go back to it. And I haven't been in another car crash of sorts or whatever. But yeah, this has been a really interesting episode. I'd say,
interesting week as well.
It's important to talk about these things. Like I said at the start, the kind of like core of this podcast does revolve around how the state of Ireland is right now, and the position it puts me and you in, and the reason you had to,
and the rest of the country.
But that's what it's about, so I think this is why I kind of want to talk about this, because it's really important to address these things,
And the reason why we talk about these things as well, I think sometimes people think they come across in the wrong way. Like, me and Shaun love Ireland. I mean, let's stem that the responsibility here. We love Ireland. We love our country. We love the heritage around Ireland. We love the folklore. We love the language. We've specified that much. But the reason we do this podcast and the reason that we talk about these kind of topics is the country is not in a state where we particularly are feeling safe and secure in at the moment, and for our family, our friends, and it's been only going in a negative direction. And the reason we talk about these things is to show, highlight and make awareness of them, because it's good to talk about these things. It's good to talk about with your friends, your family, because the more people that talk about it, the more awareness that can talk to it, and hopefully then the government will continue to make changes. Yes, we are two lads from Dublin. Yup, Blanche. I'll let Shaun bring it out.
I'm going to finish this off by saying more blacks, more dogs, more Irish, and more anybody.
Love that.
More love.
Love, one love, baby. Shout out Bob Marley.
But yeah, this is probably the best place to wrap up the episode. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in to episode number 27 of Distance Level. Whether you're a returning listener or you only came here because of the comments on TikTok, and if you disagree with us, that's fine as well. We all have different opinions, and hope you enjoyed the podcast. Anyway, hope you consider sticking around for future episodes. This is our long distance friendship podcast. My name is Shaun and I'm in Dublin, Ireland. This is Imran. He has been in Thun, Switzerland. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will talk to you again next week. Mondays at 7 a.m. is when the podcast comes out weekly. Okay, goodbye.